It's time to go Inside Out, which is brought to you by your local Honda dealers as our NBA insider Ian Begley joins us. Ian, you've reported that Jose Alvarado has been on the Knicks' radar for some time. What ultimately led the Knicks to Alvarado?
I think part of it is a secondary ball handler, somebody who can handle the ball. Jalen Brunson obviously is that for the Knicks, but they don't really have another ball handler. So having another ball handler right on the roster, and also Alvarado, intensity, great defender, and just somebody who can come in your rotation and be a backup point guard when Jalen Brunson's sitting out, and obviously an intense defender. And so we'll see how it all fits. But yeah, the Knicks had been targeting him for a while. So actually this trade, though, it wasn't related to Miles McBride's injury. Obviously it became more important to get the deal done once you find out about McBride's injury. But I think it would have happened even if McBride was healthy.
Miles McBride said to have surgery to repair core muscle injury and could miss the rest of the regular season. So what is the fallout to the Deuce McBride injury, Ian?
It's hard to replace what he was doing on both ends of the floor, shooting it really well, and everybody knows what he brings on defense. And so, yeah, Landry Shamet, it's going to be more Landry Shamet, and he's played really well off the bench for the Knicks, and Mike Brown has the utmost confidence in him. So I'm not saying it all falls on Shamet, but he's going to have an increased role. Alvarado obviously is going to have a big role here, and we'll see. But I think that one thing is the Knicks have enough money now to go after somebody on the buyout market, so maybe they get a guard just for insurance in the wake of McBride's injury. We'll see what happens there, but they do have that option.
McBride, their top perimeter option off the bench, going to be hard to replace. Of course, the biggest storyline leading up to the trade deadline was that the Bucks would deal Giannis Antetokounmpo, but they announced that they're holding on to him at least for the remainder of the season. Ian, why did the Bucks end up keeping Giannis after the deadline?
No one was going to meet their price, and they never, I don't think they stated what their price was, but clearly nobody met it. I actually thought Minnesota could maybe get there if they were able to trade for some first-round picks and send those back to Milwaukee. Never got to that point, and so now Milwaukee knows what the market is. Obviously, they decided that they can get a better offer in the offseason if it gets there again. But I think in the here and now and at the draft, they're going to try hard to build out this roster to the point where Giannis says, you know what? I can win here. I want to stay here. So a lot to be decided in Milwaukee that has reverberations around the league.
So this is what the Knicks have for the rest of the season. The roster is set. Where do you think they stack up against the rest of the teams in the Eastern Conference?
Detroit's tough. It's going to be a telling matchup on Friday. Detroit really took it to them. The first matchup up there, and you don't want to make too much of the regular season. As we learned last season, Knicks beating Boston in the playoffs and really struggling in the regular season. But, yeah, it's Detroit to me. And Boston improved, too. They got better at the center position with Vucevic. So those two, Philadelphia, I think they're all going to be formidable foes for the Knicks down the stretch here. And let's see where they end up in the playoffs.
Sal, what do you think of the Alvarado trade?
Yeah, I like it. I think he adds something, maybe, JJ, that they've been lacking since they moved on from Dante DiVincenzo in the trade for Karl-Anthony Towns. So I like the fact that he can be obviously handle the ball, which is something they need in addition to Jalen Brunson, and bring some toughness from New York. So you have to like that. I think it has been something, though, that's been lacking from the Knicks. It's been more of a finesse team than a tougher team. So hopefully he can bring that.
You like it? I love it. Now, look, I'm a sucker for the New York City point guard, and the idea of this story coming full circle with Jose Alvarado, born in Brooklyn, plays at Christ the King High School, and now gets to go and back up Jalen Brunson, that's a match made in heaven. You know what's going to be even better? The idea that you're going to get serious intensity from this player.
Yeah.
You go back to the postseason last year. Remember Dennis Schroeder against Jalen Brunson? And what an irritant, what a gnat he was. He was a pain in the neck to watch throughout that entire series. That's the way Detroit and Boston and all of these teams are going to feel when Jose Alvarado comes in and he's guarding you and he's feisty and he's feeding off the Garden crowd. The perfect backup point guard, something this team desperately needs.
Yeah, he'll be a fan favorite for sure, no question about it with that intensity. Obviously, they need him as well with the injury to Deuce McBride, so that's not going to help the Knicks. So they needed this addition here, makes the team deeper, and that's the type of guy that not only will the crowd love, as you mentioned, in the postseason can take the team to another level.
Jose Alvarado shooting 36% from three this season, shooting 35% in his career overall, so obviously a career high for him. So the Knicks currently have the 7th best odds to win the title, 4th best of the Eastern Conference teams, which I think is pretty low. This is their team for the rest of the season. So, JJ, do you view the Knicks as legitimate finals contenders?
Absolutely. Look, that's where we were at the beginning of the year. What's changed? I mean, Cleveland adding James Harden now is keeping me up at night. First of all, Cleveland's a bunch of losers to begin with. Then they go and add the biggest playoff loser on planet Earth. Explain to me how the FanDuel odds have improved that Cleveland is ahead of the Knicks. That's nonsense. I respect the Boston Celtics. They're getting Jason Tatum back. Vucevic gives them a big. They needed that, losing Horford, losing Porzingis. So Boston and Detroit are the two teams that scare me. But still, look, Knicks can't get to the NBA Finals this year. What is it happening with this group?
Am I in the right spot?
I don't know about that.
You guys got me
maybe
moving
not.
all over the place.
You
Let me just answer the question, will you? Yes, the Knicks are a championship team. You mentioned it. I mean, come on. At worst case, now, I don't think that they're going to win the championship because of Karl Anthony Towns. I don't think he's the right fit.
Okay.
But worst case scenario, I'll take my chances. It's the most talented Knicks team that I've seen in my lifetime. They have as good a chance as anybody else in the East. Going to be a tough task thinking about beating the Thunder. So, yeah, they're a championship team. I'm looking forward to seeing back and watch them prove me wrong. I wish they had a better head coach. I wish Tibbs was still here. But I want to see them prove me wrong, go out there and win a championship. It can happen.